It's the 22nd of March 2024 and this is your Solana Daily Debrief. Starting with a massive amount of money coming in terms of stablecoins into Solana over the last 48 hours. I wasn't predicting this to happen so early, but the money's coming down. So what I imagine, I said it in a previous video, but I imagine a lot of this will go into actually getting the yield, because the yield has been very juicy on Solend, so that will come down. And then I also think that there'll be a lot of dollar cost averaging happening and Solana will creep on up. Next, if you're into decentralizing the internet, then you may want to go and have a look into Helium Mobile. Have a quick watch of this video. These nodes, I'm unsure how easy it is to actually get one. However, I think you can actually use a lot of these in quite a few different countries. I do think Helium has a bright future, but I'm unsure exactly how profitable it is to run a node and what the kind of shipping and wait time is on actually getting a node. Onto the Zeus Network. Now the Zeus Network, I know I need to do a decent video on this. Basically, this is all about bringing Bitcoin from Bitcoin onto Solana, and I'm pretty sure this is going to get the center of attention in a large way in terms of DeFi stuff over the coming few weeks. Essentially, they have a point system, the Zoo point system. There's also going to be a dupe holder airdrop information coming out later. It's actually not dupe holder, it's dupe voter, and there'll be special roles. This was all discussed in the recent dupe call on Wednesday. So dupe holder equals dupe voter, and we're planning to give more. Justin is a professional researcher, so he may have a far better idea of what's going on out there. As most of my feed is all Solana based, we can basically see that there's still a decent amount of criticism happening for Solana, but his thesis is don't judge Solana for what it was and represented, and update it for what it is. And that's basically, it's carrying the layer 1 scaling torch of freedom. So there's all these different blockchains that are having to add a new network and a new network and a new network. And I've done a video on them, Solana versus EVMs. And basically what happens is you just fragment liquidity and you have bridge issues and all sorts. You can watch that video if you like. But Justin's viewpoint is probably pretty decent. And one thing is, if you start to notice lots more hate coming from different blockchains on the timeline against you being Solana, that's fine. It's normal. People are tribal. Don't worry about it. So I was in a Twitter space yesterday by the O Peeps, and basically they were talking about hybrid DeFi. And I've had some comments that have actually asked me about this, and I didn't understand it very well. So this thread goes over it. It's a new standard where you can have an NFT and you can convert that NFT into tokens and then back and forth. And each time you actually make a conversion, there's an actual tax on that. It's using the token 22 standard. And initially I didn't really see any value. However, it actually has a huge amount of value. As an example, there's 10,000 DGNapes, but if someone's quite bullish, but maybe they can't afford a whole DGNape, then you could start to just buy a little bit of the token. Now, maybe this is the same with Mad Lads. You can't afford, 160 SOL in a Mad Lad. However, maybe you could buy a few tokens. Maybe there's a way in the future, pretty close in the future, where you can just do a bit of a DCA or even limit orders. You can buy a few of the tokens. Eventually you could redeem them. Similar things with like CryptoPunks on Ethereum. Maybe there is a way where you can all of a sudden, even though someone doesn't have the PFP, they're actively supporting and rallying for it. Because as an example, apparently on chain, there was over 2.5 times the amount of trading volume on just Bonk compared to all NFTs on Solana. And the other thing is you can't really take an NFT, send it to an exchange and sell it. But a lot of the exchanges are happy to actually go and list a token that has decent liquidity. So very cool. This is a new way to actually do it. I still need to understand a little bit more. It's definitely in the speculation phase. There's one thing out called Mutantmon, and this kind of has a Pokemon feel to it. I haven't really got into this project at all, but all I'm really saying right now is if this interests you, go and take a look. Personally, I think it's very early, and a lot of projects will not switch to this system, but it does give value, I think, in the future. Bonk is my favorite meme coin, and just keep this in mind, Bonk basically airdropped over $1 billion worth to the Solana ecosystem for free. For many people watching this video, you never got any of this because it happened in December 2022. But I just want to point this out. And in my opinion, if you can get involved in Bonk in some way, maybe dollar cost average, or maybe grab some Bonk and stake it, I think it's very worthwhile. Marinade Finance is MSOL, so you've got GTOSOL, Marinade Sol, and you've also got BSOL. So Marinade has a very good point here. Firstly, remember I am the GM of Validator.com, so go and stake your SOL with us. And also, there's more and more gas fees being spent at the moment. 50% of all gas fees are being burned. The inflation from the actual Solana network, it drops by 15% yearly. So as an example, if this year it's 6%, the next year it will be 15% less than that. So like 5.1% or something like that. But just keep in mind that SOL stakers can earn higher yield than the inflation rate with ease. So make sure you're staking your SOL, and if you want to use it to DeFi with, then you can go and convert it into MSOL or JITO-SOL. And I'll show you a few tricks on this next week. Phantom's been having some issues. However, most of the issues actually relate to the fact that the validators, they don't have a good scheduler. So when all the transactions come in, they don't really get prioritized correctly. So there's going to be a validator update that will hopefully help that. But the reality is there's so much demand and the actual network cannot handle it. It does say here that Phantom has been live with automatic priority fees on all transactions for over 1 year. However, I did notice that in my recent transactions, it definitely wasn't giving enough of a priority fee. Some decent alpha here. Big Brain Holdings. So this is the VC arm from Sol Big Brain and his twin brother, and they're talking about get grass. Why are they bullish? I think the second post is really, really important. So far, the growth of AI has been highly concentrated in the hands of big tech. Companies like Google and OpenAI have nearly monopolized the field. This means they reap most of the benefits of AI, but also that they have a dangerous level of power and control over it. So one of the takeaways is go get involved in grass. I have a referral link at sebmonty.link or in the comments below. This is once again continuing to come onto my radar. IONet is building the internet of GPUs, scalability, speed, flexibility. There's a massive amount of demand for this, but I'm unsure if you can actually add your GPU to it. I'm assuming you will be able to, similar to something like Gaiman. So I will look into this. In the meantime, check it out and just be very, very vigilant. There is going to be a lot of traction on anything related to GPUs and AI, which means this scam account here, it almost got me thinking, what? There's an airdrop? Before I realized that it is in fact a scam. This is the real one, and this is a scam. So just be on the lookout for these. Notifications are coming to Camino, thanks to Say Dialect. I'm not sure how this is going to work, but when it actually goes live, I'll show you it. Same thing happening with Tensor. And by the way, I know there's a lot of people that jump into the comments and say, what do you think about this coin or this coin or this coin? Pony, new dog, whatever they are. The reality is there's more than 20,000 new tokens created daily on Solana. So this is completely a lottery. 20,000 tokens, you cannot buy a little bit of every single one. So this is why when it comes to meme coins, I kind of stay away. I think Whiff will do well, Bonk will do well, and I think Win will do well. There will be others, but you'll probably have 150 losers before you get onto a winner. And then you'll most likely sell the winner at a 2x before it eventually goes to like a 200x. So that's why I'm not totally interested in that. But nevertheless, with Solana FM, you can tell if a token is verified by its checkmark. Flexlend USDC rates are coming down. However, I still suggest giving Flexlend a go. Decent rewards in terms of USDT and USDC. I think Whales Market is going to get a whole lot more love very, very soon. And it looks as though Wormhole token is trading at quite a bit higher, almost $2. Anyway, this is a glimpse into the pro aspect of whales. So I'm keen and I'm glad that they keep on shipping. By the way, from my tutorial videos that I had a little while ago, I staked all of my whales that I bought and I haven't touched them since. The APY, of course, is much lower, but I'm betting on the fact that they will do really well. If you're not keen to do any staking, that's completely fine, but I would suggest trying out the app because it's really clean and it gives you the opportunity to either buy or sell points, pre-market tokens and things like that. And I think it's going to get a lot more attention and you will earn some rewards in the form of X whales in the future as well. The Parcl hyper growth thesis. LP deposits 126 million, volume at 30 million in 24 hours, and the LP share price is growing. Now, if you jump into this and try to do points farming, you're probably a little bit late. However, they are actually having perpetual points. So if you do jump in now, I imagine there's going to be maybe a quarterly release of new tokens for those people that are actually providing value to the platform. And my expectation is next year, this platform will do very well. Nothing's financial advice, but that's just my expectation. Claynos has hosted their town hall. This is a really cool thread. If you have any Claynos, make sure you stay up to date with how the Dactyl raffle is going to go. You can see it starts in a few days exactly how it's all going to happen. If you don't have any Claynos, you do have the option to actually buy tickets. I'm pretty sure you do anyway. You did initially. However, I do not suggest buying tickets. I don't think it's going to be worthwhile. The odds would be very low. If you want to buy a couple of tickets just for the sake of being a bit of a degen, then you're welcome to do so. But now I can't actually see anywhere where it says you can buy tickets, so maybe they pulled that feature. Anyway, these guys are shipping in terms of their IP. The game in IDO is launching on Seedify. By the way, people ask me every now and then what my pre-sale allocation of the actual GMRX token is. It's $0. Completely $0. Probably have around 10 to 15 gladiators. And I am actually using the software to do some mining tasks, some AI tasks, and therefore I'm getting rewarded in GMRX. Anyway, this is on Seedify. Price of one Seedify token is $4.89, and I think you need 500 of them, so it is fairly expensive. And from there, your allocation is probably going to be less than $100 worth of the token. To our favorite airdrop guru, Fabiano. This a little bit of a 1 week change in terms of Solana airdrop protocols. I know I still need to look into DFlow. I completely understand that. I think Rain could be really, really cool. So I'm going to see if I can do some tutorials on Rain next week. And Zeta Markets, I'm looking into this as well. Of course, DYOR I've already covered. Camino Finance, I love Camino Finance. You're welcome to use this. Right now, farming points is definitely not in your best interest. We've covered Parcl. We know about Drift in terms of points. Not really a good system, most likely kind of coming to an end. And so if I was going to be jumping into points, I would be looking at Zeta Markets, RainFi, and DFlow, although I haven't covered these two yet. Then if we scroll on down, some personal thoughts. I'm a Parcl maxi, but started to use farm RainFi and Zeta lately quite often. Great UI and definitely underfarmed. This person seems to be doing this basically full time, so we may as well follow their lead. The Banx launch is on March 25th, 4:20 p.m. UTC time. I actually can't really work out what it's all about. I wouldn't say this thread is really super enlightening. I mean, obviously they're releasing their token. The list of people that are going to be able to claim some, I think maybe for free, is here. The DGNet Ape Academy is not there, so I don't know if I really hold any of these. I hold a couple of these, but not very many. Exactly how it's going to work, I don't actually know. It's kind of like when someone spends all this time doing a thread and then you don't really work out what exactly it's all about. We do see that it's a first come, first served claim, only 24 hours or until supply lasts. So if you can, jump in at 4:30 and start to claim with your wallets. But I actually don't really know anything about this. It's a little bit confusing for me. And so unless I get some sort of clarity from the team, I'm probably not going to cover it. But if you're keen on this, do your own research. Now, I don't condone this in any way, but Slerf, Sol, they're planning to drop soul-bound NFTs to wallet addresses. A soul-bound NFT means they send it to the wallet address, and then when it gets there, you cannot move it. It's like a Saga Genesis token. And their expectation is people will see this as a piece of history, and they'll airdrop you new random tokens, so you'll eventually do well. Anyway, this is not me condoning Slerf in any way, but I guess they're trying to find ways for their major screw up. A bit of an actionable today. DAA comic, The Recruits. There's going to be a Twitter space happening at 4 p.m. at UTC time. I am really legitimately excited for this. There's a lot of work that's going into this, and I really do like it. And I think it's important that NFTs leverage their IP and try to make it more of a Web 2 brand, surprisingly. So yes, it's a Web 3 brand, but try and get that kind of viral aspect that a Web 2 brand can get. On to Jupiter. It's Friday, so Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So for me, this is 7 p.m. UTC. There will be a chat with Marinade Finance and AMA. And then at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so 8 p.m. for me, there'll be a chat with Sanctum. I imagine these will go up onto the Jupe Ecosystem YouTube channel. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you go and subscribe. This, in my opinion, is going to be a major source of alpha. Anything that's launching on LFG will probably do well, and I think Jupe will outperform really well. It's most likely going to outperform the price of Sol in terms of maybe Sol goes a 5x from here and Jupe may go a 10x. But of course, there's more risk, and we're not just going to talk about price going up. The value that you can get from Jupe is quite substantial, so make sure you're watching these short little videos to try and stay updated. That's all for today. Stay curious. Catch you tomorrow.